Welcome to the Cam and Joe Show. My name's Joe with my good friend Cam.
Good morning and happy Friday.
How's it going, man?
I just wanted to pause right there and just stare right into your eyes and give us a good 3 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. How was your week, bud?
It was fantastic. Busy. Busy. We're gonna be talking
well over caffeinated because you own a coffee shop. Or how's the shop?
The shop's doing good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, subscription service will be launching. Like we've been waiting to launch because of the tariff stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on all that stuff, but it is affecting coffee in a big way.
Yeah.
Doubling cost of green beans.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other conversation.
But you want to know about a project that I've been working on diligently with an incredible person?
I do. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about it. Robinhood. My buddy Caleb Zurikowski here.
You're talking about something else because you mentioned talent first.
I enjoying this so much. I did.
So am I.
It's been so much fun. So people don't know. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah.
Because you do have, and I want you to brag on yourself. I know it's hard for you to brag on yourself.
Oh, no.
But you have a master's.
I do.
Tell us about all of that. Tell us about like your writing, what you like, what inspires you.
All right. Well, yes, my name is Caleb Zurikowski. I have a master's degree in English literature, and I decided to write a play.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
And come see us next episode on the Cam and Joe.
Hey, everybody.
All we have time for today.
That's right.
Budget cuts.
So I'll help lead you in. So you were working, we worked together on Princess Bride.
Yes.
So we did a stage adaptation of Princess Bride, which was interesting because people were not, I don't know, people are mad at me no matter what I do. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But so anyways.
It's creative. You gotta just throw it out there. If it's not for someone, it's not for someone.
Well, no, everybody said that was a blast. Some people said it was their favorite theater experience they've had in years, decades. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So everyone's like, when's the next? And I'm all, I don't know. So at a cast party, everyone was like, what's the next play gonna be? I was like, I don't know, guys. I did this because I had passion for it. I don't have passion for another project unless it hits me. So then everyone's throwing out ideas.
I mean, and it was like the entire day at that cast party, we're just throwing out the worst ideas just as a joke.
Yes.
But one that always came back was an idea for a Robin Hood play.
Yep.
It seemed like that was just recurring. Just like every time we throw out some terrible joke play.
That's awesome.
It was always like, yeah, but Robin Hood would be kind of fun. It's a lot like Princess Bride. We could do it.
Yeah.
And during the production of Princess Bride was when I was finishing up my master's thesis, and I turned in my thesis like halfway through performances.
That's amazing.
So I had just finished that. We finished the play, and I really did have this feeling of like, well, now what do I do?
Yeah.
It's like these two things that had kind of taken over my entire life for a while were done. And I'm like, well, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And we just keep talking about writing these plays and writing this Robin Hood play. And I mean, back when I was in high school and I first started doing theater, I had the idea of like, it'd be kind of fun for Robin Hood to be a play.
Yes.
So like, it's just something that's always been in the back of my mind. And so when it kept coming up, I was like, maybe this is a sign that I should just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want a writing project because I like writing. I need something. So maybe I'll actually write something and actually show it to somebody for once because I never do that.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, Joe just kept pestering me
in a nice way.
In a nice way, but every once in a while I'd get a text like, hey, how's that Robin Hood play going? I'm like, oh no, I have to be accountable. I made a promise and now I actually have to be accountable. What have I done?
I have learned that the best way to get something out of a creative person is to create a very large window.
Squeeze them.
No, you create a large window. You go, hey, how long? 6 months. Done. 6 months. So we talked.
12 months.
No, it was about 4 months. We talked in June about it. And I said, hey, when do you go? I think I can have a finished product, finished script by the beginning of November, end of October. I said, okay.
Well, initially I said the end of summer, but I didn't realize how busy I was going to be at my job that summer.
So I shot him a text and we just kept pushing back. And I said, okay, hard stop if we're going to do this next year. We have to have it done by November so I can get everything lined up.
Yep.
So shoot him a text and then he'd be like, yeah. And I knew creative speak is, oh, crap. I forgot I needed to work on that. So whatever creative does, and I'm just going to be speaking to all of you out there. Every creative does the same thing. Oh yeah, no, I'll totally do that. I've got 90% of that done.
Yeah.
They go home, they're like,
ton of time, loads of time.
I didn't get any of it done. And then they rush and finish it up. And the creative juices flow because they've pushed themselves in a stress situation.
Yep.
So if you
That's how I finished my thesis in the first place.
Yeah. Which is usually the case for a master's thesis. Like,
yeah.
you need a little
Right. I forgot
about your master's thesis.
I was just gonna ask, what did you do the master's thesis?
So I did my focus on Arthurian literature, and my goal was I wanted to take a look at various stories of Knights of the Round Table and actually compare their actions in the story to the actual historical code of chivalry that knights were supposed to follow. And the idea was which Knights of the Round Table were actually the most virtuous,
most knightly,
most knightly, yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
in that framework.
Yeah.
So that was what my thesis was. Is I've always loved Arthurian literature, just medieval literature in general. So of course, also another reason why Robin Hood just seemed
made
to
a ton of sense.
fit me so much, because like I was already in that headspace of
totally.
medieval times.
Totally.
So
okay,
that's awesome, man.
but,
so before we get into the more of the Robin Hood stuff, what is your favorite Robin Hood movie or adaptation?
it's pretty much, since I first saw it, has pretty much always been the Errol Flynn version.
Errol Flynn is amazing.
I watched that the first time in a history of film class at community college way back in like 2010 or something.
That's how people learn about movies.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know, there was something about it that just clicked with me. I'm like, this just like, yeah, it's from the late 30s, but there's just something that feels so evergreen about it. Like, it just feels like forget this as a movie. This feels like it's just always existed, and it just works.
Absolutely.
I love it. So a lot of that Errol Flynn movie definitely inspired the play I ended up writing.
That's awesome.
The animated Robin Hood is mine.
Bro. As a father of three,
come on,
it's the Disney, it's the animated one. It's
very rewatchable.
So fun.
Well, and it's funny because it's one of the only. So Errol Flynn has the archery contest. Okay, the book has the archery contest. The animated version has the archery contest. That's practically it. All of the newer versions don't have an archery contest. They don't have
Men in Tights.
Men in Tights.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Contest.
Yeah, with the arrow split and all that.
Yeah. No. So I got to go to a con dressed up like Star-Lord. Regina painted green. She was my Gamora. That's how we roll. But we went to a spot and
did anybody see her and say She-Hulk?
No. She had
this was a while ago. She-Hulk was people didn't know She-Hulk.
She's too small to be She-Hulk. I love you, baby. I love you. So we go, and Carol Elwes was there, the guy who played Princess Bride.
Yeah.
And then also Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
So he's there and he goes, yeah. So he's talking about stories. So he talks about how he hangs up on Mel Brooks. He gets the phone call and he's just like, hey, this is Mel Brooks. He goes, yeah, whatever. Hangs up. And the guy goes, no. Don't hang up. This is actually Mel Brooks. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry I hung up on you.
It's a great Mel Brooks impression.
Yeah, and it was pretty. It's
pretty. Yeah.
I try. I practice.
Pretty good.
But so he says that he got the role because he could speak with a British accent. So the line is, unlike some Robins, I can speak with a British accent. But that scene where he's shooting at the archery contest. So apparently they're about to shoot this shot of him shooting the arrow, and he's getting ready with makeup and everything. He's over there, and he's like, Mel Brooks is like, all right. So we're going to shoot this shot, and then we're going to go to lunch. He'll do it. It's fine. So the lady comes up and goes, hey, so I see you with the bow. Have you ever shot a bow before? He goes, I've never, ever shot a bow.
First time.
And so she's like, oh, well, you're Robin.
We're in danger.
So he goes, yeah. So she's, let me show you. So he practice shoots a couple. She shows him how to hold it, form, elbow, straight, all that stuff. Practice. Okay. All right, let's do the shot. So he gets up there, tense. He pulls the bow, launches the arrow over, like into the forest. And everyone just like, and then Mel Brooks goes, no, he'll get it. It's fine. We'll go to lunch in 5 minutes. It's fine. And he's like, the pressure was killing me. So he's sitting there and he goes, so when he grabs the bow, he grabs the arrow and he shoots and he closes his eye and turns. Okay. And he hits the bullseye. He actually hit the bullseye.
Nice.
And that face of him doing
is legit.
Is actually him.
That's awesome.
And then Mel Brooks was
amazing.
Like, cut, perfect.
Yep. Lunchtime.
I was like,
later.
What?
I told you it worked. That's awesome.
Like, that is the best. So
great.
So
I also love that just old school filmmaker thing of like, oh, you're playing Robin Hood. You know how to shoot a bow perfectly. Of course. Like now they would just use CGI. Like, oh, you don't have to know. We'll show you how to hold it. And we'll CGI it. But back then it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna play Robin Hood. We're just gonna assume you already know how to hit the bullseye every time. Just do it. Go.
I had a huge crush on Maid Marian, the lady.
I thought you were gonna say
absolutely.
As soon as I've got a huge crush on, I'm like, here we go.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
I wouldn't put it past you. Hello.
How's that coffee?
Oh my god,
so much love.
There was a lot of love in it.
So
you know what movie is like completely like downtrodden and nobody even wants to mention it?
Oh,
it's the Russell Crowe.
Oh, bro, we don't.
Bro, I know. Come on.
Oh, the line is good. The line is good. Okay.
The line.
The line. Rise and rise again until lambs become lions. That is the only thing in that movie.
What does it mean? It means never give up.
I was so excited for that movie.
Yeah.
Like Gladiator at that time was one of my like a favorite movie of mine. I've always liked Robin Hood. I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Ridley Scott, bro, could do no wrong.
Yeah. Well, you know.
And he did.
And then he's still doing
it. Sure was a movie I watched.
Gladiator 2. Why are we making it?
It's fun.
I have comments on that, but I'm not even going to get into that because
he always makes like a great movie and then a bunch of just like, oh, he has a movie out now?
Yeah.
He needs to retire. Love the guy.
Probably.
He needs to retire. Yeah. So anyways, back into the Robin Hood thing.
You're right. Yeah.
Back on the Robin Hood thing. So anyways, that's my favorite, Earl Flynn. And I do know from reading the script and working on the project with you that it's got a lot of that reference and reverence to the subject matter.
Yeah.
But it is also got a lot of humor. And you told me, you can add jokes. I'm not funny, so I'm not going to add any jokes. And he gives me a script, and I'm expecting it to be like, what dost thou do, Meriden? Like,
being his master's thesis and knowing the backstory.
I mean, that actually is the first thing I wrote. Actually, was very straight. It was very much like that, and I got a ways through it, and I was like, this just doesn't feel right. Like because during all the way back to that cast party when we kept bringing up Robin Hood. I mean, this pitch we kept having was like, let's just make a love letter to Robin Hood because everybody has their favorite Robin Hood movie.
Yep.
So everyone's going to expect at least a little bit of that in a Robin Hood play. So I was like, I want to find a way to get this like conglomeration of every Robin Hood movie that you've ever seen, but still being its own thing.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to have a little bit of that. And obviously I know so many people in my life that pretty much the only Robin Hood movie they've seen is Men in Tights. They're going to expect it to be
I love Robin Hood.
Absurd humor.
Sure.
So like I knew I needed to be funny. So yeah, for a while when I had that kind of like old-fashioned dialogue, I'm like, this is going to be really hard for me to put jokes into with this.
Yeah, with this kind of.
So he tells me that.
That kind of writing stuff.
So he literally tells me, hey man, it's a script. Yeah. You're going to have to add some jokes. It's not that funny. Okay. He hands me a script.
He's telling you that?
Telling me that. And
you're like, huh?
No,
I'm a very, very self-deprecating person.
So I took it and I started reading it. And I'm like, so I get out anytime I'm about to read a script, I have my black marker, my red marker. Okay. And that's what I do. And so I'll open it up and I'll start highlighting things that I like. And then if it's something that I don't like, I'll read and I'll write a note. Here's why I didn't like it. And then give it back. I'm reading yours and I have it ready. And you're like, I don't know, man. This is my first play. This is going to be. And I'm like, all right. And so I'm going, I love Caleb. I don't know what to expect here. He's got a master's in English, but this is a play. It's got to be entertaining. And that's what I'm leaning into. So I open it up.
Master's was not in creative writing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm reading it and I have my pen and I have it ready. And then I put the cap on and I just keep reading it. And then all of a sudden, I'm holding it like a book and I'm just reading it and I'm laughing and I'm having such an amazing time. And it ends and I was like,
Red pen,
bro.
Red pen stayed capped?
No, there was a couple lines that
there were a few
that were awesome, but because the church is letting us use
noted.
Because the church is letting us use facilities, it was like, hey, that's great.
Yeah.
But
we were somewhere else.
I wanted to see like how far am I able to take some things just out of curiosity.
And it perfectly. It doesn't. I don't want to say cross boundary. It hits everything perfectly.
It wasn't like that.
To me, it's Shrek, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
It's endearing. It's heartwarming, but you're laughing throughout the entire thing. And then when the bad guy, like when it's sad, you're like, man, I'm feeling it, man. And so it's been a lot of fun, kind of in that regard.
That's awesome.
But this has been something
I'm looking forward to
since last June. Project us talking, and we talked a couple times to script through. I mean, bro, I'm loving all of it.
This has seriously been one of the most fun experiences I've had working on a show. Like, regardless of the fact that it's something I wrote, like, it's just every time we do a practice, like, everybody's showing up and just having a fun time with it.
Are you in it yourself?
Yeah.
Of course.
Awesome.
I told him to write himself in whatever part. And what part are you playing?
The Sheriff of Nottingham.
Oh, are you the sheriff?
Yeah.
Nice.
Of course.
Let's go.
I'm not going to write myself as the leading man. I don't have that much of an ego.
Yeah.
But, like, which I'm glad I did.
Sorry, Mike.
I would be miserable right now if I actually had to also be lead role. So, like, I'll make myself the villain. I'll have, like, I'll have some fun moments, but
I have to ask you a controversial question.
Oh no. Okay.
And I'm curious, and I actually want to hear Cameron's thoughts on this too.
Let's go.
Do you think that theatrical arts has been dying?
Dying. I mean,
I'm not saying it's dead because we're literally doing a play, but do you think it's been dying?
What do you see as theatrical arts?
Okay, so for example, to me, theatrical arts, we're talking about a theater stage play. It used to have this like amazing motion behind it. There was a feeling in the room you got. There was a tension in the tense moments. Like there was emotion in it. The last, I love, and I have a bunch of friends that are amazing actors. And the last few times I went to them, they were good. But the room didn't feel like I was at a play. It felt more like I was watching performers.
Yeah.
And that it felt more like it was odd because I didn't feel like as an audience member that I was an audience member. And that's not the fault.
Yeah.
That's because the art that was created for that was not to involve the audience.
I kind of think, and maybe this attributes to what you're saying, like, I don't know if I would say it's dead, but I definitely think everybody who wants to be an actor, it seems like their only frame of reference now is film.
Yeah.
Film acting is not stage acting.
No, not.
It's very, very different. You have to play it very differently, but people don't go to live theater nearly as much as they go to the movie theater. You know, an actor now will study film. They'll go to the movie theater. There's always, a dozen movies playing at even our small town little theater.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's always, so you can always go to see a film. It's very hard to like, okay, is there a live play? Like it's sometimes hard to find those or even, so I think
the access to it itself is lower. So
exactly.
In many's eyes, it would look like dying or dead. I get that.
Yeah. So I think and I think that maybe have something to do with it is even like audiences going to see a live show now. They expect the acting to also be like the acting they're used to seeing on film. And so I think film is just kind of taken over so much that people just maybe assume that. That's just
the perspective of it is so much that. What do you think, Cam?
I'm thinking back a couple years ago, Hannah and I and a couple friends, we went and saw a performance in Sacramento at the Theater in the Round in Sacramento of Peter Pan.
Oh, incredible.
And it like, dude, I was laughing, I was crying,
Absolutely.
I was laughing again. Mind you, I mean that was a couple years ago, but I think if you're searching for something, you'll find it. I think if somebody has the lens of theatrical arts are dying, I think maybe they're just kind of sitting back and waiting for it to come and grab them, and they're not in pursuit of it, right?
Sure.
Yes, Sacramento is 40 minutes from here, but you can also find really good performances locally. I mean, what you guys are putting together.
That's right. You better say good things. You don't see the gun. It's
also, cool. I mean, also same in Sacramento. The acting company locally.
Sure.
We've seen a couple things through them. They do a good job.
Right.
I feel it's a matter of access, like you said. Like you can always just go see a movie, right?
Sure.
You can't always just go see a live performance, and there's just that much more behind it. So I love it. I love the opportunity. There's more like angst and like anticipation and excitement.
Sure.
Like if you sit down 30 minutes before at a massive gala or some the Theater in the Round or at Memorial Auditorium in Sacramento, like a couple years ago we saw what is the big massive Christmas production every year? The
Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Nope.
Christmas
Stage
Carol.
play. Keep going.
The
Bum, 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 bum,
It's a
bum,
Wonderful
bum,
Life.
bum, 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 Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Nutcracker.
Thanks
and
for-
like
thanks for
and
cracking
the
that
whole
thing.
like getting there like 30 or 45 minutes beforehand, like just kind of the buzz and the energy and the hum.
yeah.
Like that energy, like you don't have that in a movie theater.
No.
I
Well,
don't think.
But everybody's favorite experience in the movie theater is like, remember when everybody was just like, oh, and the whole theater react.
Darth Maul's second
Yeah.
lightsaber going,
And you're like,
Oh yeah.
ah!
bro.
Yeah.
That and those are the moments that
Yeah.
you go back to. And so what I agree with you guys that it's not as accessible, but I also think that you have art being made for art's sake. So I was watching a cooking show last night. Beat Bobby Flay.
Mhm.
I love
Oh,
I love that show.
Yep.
In it
Right.
though, there are two chefs and they're like, okay, you have to make a bratwurst. All right. So they're cooking up brats.
Mhm.
And this guy literally he toasts the hoagie, adds some cheese, like, makes a legit brat.
Mhm.
And I saw it and was like, oh, that looks really good.
Mhm.
Well, then the guy going against him is like, I'm going to make a not deconstructed, deconstructed.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a deconstructed brat sandwich. So he puts cooked peppers on the plate and like a mustard on the side and smears it and
Mhm.
and then cuts up some brats and puts it on the
Mhm.
plate. And they're like, cool. And they're like, we really like this, but it needs bread because it's not a brat
Yeah.
without bread.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And even the guy, when he finished, he ended up not getting to go against Bobby Flay. But he even looked at the camera and went, yeah, well, I probably should have, like,
Just done.
I'm never going to hear this. I'm never going to live this down for my own friends. Like, they're going to be like, really?
Like,
You
how
didn't-
did you mess that up?
how did you mess up a brat sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the same thing with theater. I think we've gotten to the point where everything is so, well, I want to make my own play. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Please make your own play. I want to see all the
Sometimes
faces
you
you
got to
have.
just be a brat.
But when you're
Yeah.
trying to go, I'm going to take it and flip it on its head. Who's asking for that?
Yeah.
There isn't.
Did anyone request that? No, you
Mhm.
kind of just did it. Yeah. Okay.
So like Star Wars is an example, something that's dying, right?
Mhm.
It's because the characters we love are like, they're not what we love anymore.
Mhm.
And then keep taking it like, what if we take this Sith Lord and actually make you
Mhm.
like him and flip it on its head? It's like, I would if you made it good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so the
Don't just give me Ryan Gosling. Sure. Now he's attached to Star Wars. I'm like, no, wait. What?
Yeah, no,
What?
exactly.
What
Exactly. And so, but that's the same thing I look at when it comes to theater, when I think of a lot of theatrical performances. Like, for example, there was a wonderful, there was a local performance about Charlie Brown. Except instead of it being about Charlie Brown and his friends and being a Charlie Brown adventure, it was adults discovering their sexuality with Charlie Brown. And that was a theatrical play. And I'm like,
No one asked for
who asked for that?
I-
I love Charlie Brown. And I'm like,
But here, like, oh my
That's
God.
like something I would watch as a curiosity, as like a 3-minute YouTube
Correct.
animated short like
Yep.
comedy thing.
but that's what I'm saying. So when
Yeah.
you're talking about like,
But-
dude, I saw Peter Pan. Of course,
Mhm.
it's a classic.
Mhm.
Even the Nutcracker, that's a classic.
Mhm.
We're talking about stuff that people love.
Yeah.
That they go, oh man, I've got
Mhm.
no bad memories with this.
Yep.
But then why is it that when we're seeing new projects being created that are creative,
Yeah.
there's no referencing to the stuff that works,
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
I'm actually going to make and you're like, please don't
Yeah.
actually, because you're ruining the character I love, and you don't know you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between the Errol Flynn Robin Hood movie and Russell Crowe. When you really think about it, the Errol
Hanging
Flynn
out.
version was like a production made to just celebrate Robin Hood,
Yep.
the story that's already existed. The Russell Crowe movie, the Ridley Scott one, was like, we're gonna
Strength
do
and
Robin Hood, but what if we made a Robin Hood that wasn't funny?
Yeah.
What if we made a serious Robin Hood? Who wanted a serious Robin Hood?
Yeah.
I did, damn
The
it.
big- like,
It was made for me, all right?
Cameron's gonna leave here and be like,
I am bad.
when that movie came out, I also was like, I want to see that. Maybe that would be interesting. And then I watched it and went, oh,
Nope.
turns out
That
a
wasn't
big
great.
appeal for Robin Hood is that he's funny. You get
Mhm.
rid of that and you're just watching
Well,
just a guy.
Yeah, this
Well,
could be any.
was
This
like,
guy's
oh.
name could be anything. And
Yeah, like,
okay.
oh, this doesn't feel like Robin Hood.
I think if they would have had the merry men, they had the elements, right? And I do think there is that amount of looking at it like the brat. If he would have had a bread element to it to make it feel like a sandwich, like an open face sandwich instead of no bread at all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is all about approach, and I think it is all about that. And I think the creative mind doesn't understand the basic boundaries of going, here's something that's amazing, but who am I going to alienate when I make this?
Well said.
Right? So it's like, you can do anything you want, but should you? You're creative. Please do. Absolutely.
That's fair.
Like,
Yeah.
Marvel's a great example. They can make anything. They have all these characters, but should they?
But should you?
Right? I watched the new Thunderbolts movie and I loved it.
I love it.
And I actually got misty-eyed.
Same.
I was like,
Don't say anything. No spoilers. Haven't seen it yet.
hey,
Okay.
if you need a nerd friend to go see it, I'll totally see it.
Deal.
Cool.
I'll go watch it
Text
again.
you on Tuesday.
See?
It's one of the first
Let's
movies
go.
since Endgame. I will gladly go back
Yep.
and watch
All
that
right.
movie.
Yep.
Say less.
Absolutely.
So, but to me, it's that on the theatrical. So I'm directing the play, and as you can tell, I'm very passionate about art, but I'm also very passionate about giving due to the subject matter and letting people go, wow, that was fun. If you're not having fun at a theater, even if take Phantom of the Opera, as dramatic as that whole thing is, it is still an absolute blast. How they do the dancing, how they do the music. If you've seen it in modern day, how the light lifts in the center of the room and you're embraced into it.
Yeah, you're sucked into
it. It's fun. And even when it's sad, you're still like in the emotion.
Yeah,
And
you're like leaning forward, just like, wow.
Yeah.
And that's like that from a live performance standpoint, I love that aspect.
Yeah.
Like when you get to just like lean in and be like, this is incredible. Especially when you have like the full like orchestra in the front, like,
oh man,
dun, 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 like, no. If you can take aspects of that, can you get some of that at a movie? Yes, sure. Like a fraction of it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like live.
There's something about seeing living, breathing people in front of you.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Yeah.
Playing pretend like when you were a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just
well said.
Yeah. There's something unique about that. I mean, we just talked about like his live performance, like dead or dying. It's like some ways I feel like a lot of that old fashioned spirit of theater just kind of sometimes just moves to other venues. Like,
yeah,
I'm a fan of pro wrestling.
Oh, bro, it is totally theater.
I went to
a
WWE show like a couple weeks ago, and I had that same feeling of like the first time I saw a play. It was like, here are people playing characters, living out these stories, some of which are super melodramatic and insane.
Yep.
But they're having a ton of fun, and by proxy, this entire arena full of people is having the time of their life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then like a couple days later, I go back and like, I want to see what that show looked like on camera, on TV.
It's not the same.
And I watch on TV, I'm like, there's something missing.
Yeah, not it.
Well, because you're getting that
Missing.
person.
Even though the camera's getting like really
the
up close shots.
The energy burst, the crowd, the everything.
I was like halfway up the stands. I can't see a close up of their faces, but I still felt it.
Absolutely.
It's
being there.
Well, especially being in a society that is looking for an experience at this point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that theater is in the process of having a big increase. And the reason I see that is because everyone's like, I went to the movie, but it was like whatever. And that's what I keep hearing from people. I don't go, we're all pretty old here, man. Goodness. But we've all been around long enough to remember movies being that experience. But now when you go to the movies, most people are like, I'll just wait for it to hit streaming. I'm too busy. I'll just wait for it for this. I'll wait for it for this. When it was like, hey, I remember my dad coming home early. Hey, there's a new Star Wars out. I was like, but you got work? He goes, nah, man, get in the car.
Bro.
Like, oh, okay. And as a kid, it was like
100%.
the anticipation of like, oh man, we're going to go see this movie was built up. Now you're like, keep your expectations low because it could really suck.
Dude, I remember my mom grabbing Chris and I, we were in 4th grade at the time, picking us up from school and taking us to a Phantom Menace.
Bro.
At good old Movies 8. And I remember just being like so enthralled. Like, I'm in 4th grade. Like, this is the best movie ever.
Bro,
Pod Racers when you're in 4th grade?
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
I still actually.
Bro.
I still like
I
movie.
love that movie. That movie.
Like,
movie's so much fun.
Give Anakin a break. He's a kid. All right. That's all I'm going to say on that. I don't want to piss people off. But I
Little Watto.
Like, if you're going to put crap on any Star Wars movie that's not the newer ones because that deserves all the hot garbage. Episode 2. And it's because of the bad romance. That's the only thing I'm really like. But Obi-Wan Kenobi is the best in episode 2.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right, get through the cringe. Okay, we're back to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to do something.
Yeah.
So with the Robin Hood project and everything we've been working on, what has been your favorite part of it?
of the production
so far. I mean, we're going to be going live
it's just been watching all of these actors having fun. It really was. Because, like, sure, I've had this image in my head of this show, but all these characters were just these... They were just that. It's these fictional characters that were just in my head. And then now seeing it played out by people that are having the time of their life, which that in and of itself is almost surreal to me. Because I'm like, this is just something... I constantly have this imposter syndrome thing working on this. Because I'm like, sometimes I'll be seeing somebody giving a performance, and I'm like, you do know this is just my script, right? Like, it can't be like, calm down, it's not that, but like, no, this is good, this is great. Are you sure? Okay.
Awesome.
So it really has just been seeing all these people having the time of their life, feeling like they have material to chew on, they have a spotlight. And that was something I was intentionally doing, was like, even a character that would only show up in one scene, that has like 2-3 lines of dialogue, I wanted them to have at least something to do.
Yeah.
Either a joke or a dramatic moment or something. And it's just seeing everybody in the cast doing that and being like, yeah, I've got something to work with. And they're going for it. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're just in this one scene and you're cool with just, okay, awesome. This is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just seeing this thing that's been in my head just becoming this real thing in front of me is like, there's a part of me that almost wishes that I didn't cast myself in it, because I just want to sit back and watch.
Enjoy it.
It's all right.
I hate the fact that that one of my favorite like dramatic scenes in this show, I'm in the scene like directly after that when I just want to sit back and watch
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but I gotta be over on the stage already. I can't really see it, but I want to.
You're gonna. And I have a buddy coming in. We're setting up cameras. We're gonna film it all proper.
Cool.
So and then also, this is all original music.
Yeah, you told me about that.
So literally, me and Johnny and my buddy David, we've all been
Robin Hood, Little John walking through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's go. Oh, Delali.
Oh no, straight bro.
Like I wanted at least a little bit of references to every Robin Hood movie that people like. So there are definitely some of those Disney vibes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So let's put a soundtrack. It's like the animated. So I totally rip off, not rip off. I paid licensing for everybody listening. There's this thing called a mechanical license that you can pay to use a lead line from something. And since Oodalali came out 50 years ago, the mechanical license per track is like 12 cents.
Nice.
And then you can have it and produce it. I was like, oh, all right.
Bill me.
So we do lots of different references, but inspiration. So he was listening to this and I didn't know he was listening to this at the same time. I put on Flogging Molly. Do you know who Flogging Molly?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, so good. So I was listening to some Flogging Molly and I was like, yeah, for this scene, I really want to create this kind of like fun vibe. So live instruments, we've got a mandolin, ukulele, steel face guitar, regular guitar, violin, flute. We've got all that stuff orchestrated into everything. But then there's some sections that are lo-fi vibes because I love lo-fi. Try to make a soundtrack that you could just get lost in and you're like, oh man, I just love this.
Yeah.
And
I have it looping for hours.
The amount of times I reference Oodalali, every track has a reference to the Oodalali lead line with a different instrument.
As it should. That's awesome.
Yeah, to create the nostalgia of like, yeah, it's right.
It's awesome.
So yeah.
That song literally probably plays in my truck at minimum 2 to 3 times a week. And it's so random, but I also have my now 6-year-old going to, I take him to kindergarten every morning, and right when we get in the truck, Beckham, what are we listening to this morning? This morning it was all the Moana 2 soundtrack, which is actually an extremely strong soundtrack.
I'm going to totally disagree with you, but I love you.
Really?
I thought it was not good.
Go watch it again. Stop it.
No.
We're going to fight out.
Yeah, we can't.
Still haven't seen Moana 2.
I
love the first one.
I love the first one.
I said the same thing about the first one. It's one of my favorites. That's my favorite.
The OG is great. And the second one, when I watched it, I was like, okay. And then I saw it again, and I was like, okay, I dig it.
It grew on you.
And then next thing you know, it's like, all right.
No, there's a lot of movies like that with
These
my
songs
kids.
are bangers.
There's a lot of movies like that with kids. So funny story. So did your kids watch Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood at all?
No.
Bro, it's super amazing.
Yeah.
So it's Mr. Rogers when he passed away, he sold the rights. His family had the rights, and they ended up letting this company produce.
Nice.
And it's pretty much taking all the original episodes of Mr. Rogers, except it's animated with Daniel Tiger, his main person.
Awesome.
So it's all lived in this world.
That's so cool.
So but it's great life lessons, like how to deal with grief.
Yeah.
How to deal with a new baby coming.
That's awesome.
So as a parent, bro.
Absolutely.
And some of the music, every episode has like a little like
a jingle.
Mm-hmm. I fell asleep watching it, and I was working on some music at the time. I fell asleep. I woke up and I was like,
I got it.
I was like, I gotta go to a meeting. And I'm in the car, and I'm like,
I've got it.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a amazing lead. I pull out my phone, I'm like recording it. I come home, and they're playing the same episode. I went,
no.
Why?
That's where I got it.
What the crap?
It's snuck in
subliminal messaging.
Yep.
Oh, don't worry. There's a few times in this script I go back. I'm like I have this great idea for a joke. And a couple days later, I'm like, I feel like rewatching a movie, and then
then you're like, that's
where I got the joke.
I thought that was original.
Oh,
all right.
No one will notice.
So let's go characters really quick. We'll start to wrap. But characters wise, there are characters in this that are not in any of the other versions because they're in the book.
Yes.
Do you want to explain?
Yes.
That.
Well, when I was starting to plan out this show, I was like, I want to look at every Robin Hood movie, but I also wanted to reread the old Howard Pyle novel Adventures of Robin Hood from the 18-something. It's like the book that almost every Robin Hood movie at least says it's inspired by. I was like, I want to go back to that original book because from what I remember, I knew the original book is very different. Like I already knew in that book, Maid Marian's Barry Lee in it. She's like mentioned once at the very beginning, and that's it. And so I'm reading it, and I get to two particular characters, and I'm like, this chapter's really fun with this character. Why have I never seen them in a movie before?
Yep.
And there's one that's just called The Tinker. That's it. There's not a whole lot with him, but there's this whole like initiation, like recruiting scene with him of losing a card game, and he gets blackout drunk and passes out or whatever. But like, it's a really funny chapter. I'm like, this is hilarious. Why have I never seen this Tinker character in any movie?
A rendition of this character.
Yeah. And the same thing with later, there's a character named Midge the Miller. And this whole chapter I'm reading, I'm like, this reads like a slapstick, like a Three Stooges, like slapstick bit with this character. Why have I not seen this character in any movie before? I'm like, for the 2-3 people who might come to see this show that's read this book, I want to give them it's them. Like I'm gonna bring in so those two characters, the Tinker and Midge the Miller. I was like, I specifically want to have those characters in this because they've never been done before.
That's awesome.
Because I wanted this to be a conglomeration of every Robin Hood movie, but at the end of the day, it still needs to have like its own identity.
Yeah, some organic.
I needed to put my own heart in.
Yeah.
Well, and some of my own ideas and things. And that was something that I'm like, this, even if you've seen every Robin Hood movie, I guarantee you there's going to be something in this show that you've never seen before. That was one. I was like, I want to pull in those characters into this world and just see how they work. And turns out it fits.
It works.
Dude, in the homage to every Robin Hood, you feel it.
You can
see it. You can feel it. It's in it. It literally drips with homage, but it doesn't dishonor the characters. It doesn't. At no point do you go, I don't know if that's Robin Hood. You don't ever go, oh, I wonder if that's the sheriff. You're like, no, that's them. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the important. It's not the animated sheriff.
Yeah. No,
that was a very. I do want to talk about this really quick because this is by far one of the most difficult things as I was planning this out because like everybody has their favorite Robin Hood movie, but at the end of the day, Robin Hood typically acts like Robin Hood.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of Robin Hood movies where the character Robin Hood is just totally different. It tends to be the same. The Sheriff of Nottingham has been depicted in like 1,000 different ways that are wildly different. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I have to pick at least one or two. Because like you have to.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, you've got Alan Rickman, who's just this unhinged psychopath.
It's my favorite.
But then the Disney version, it's just this like scummy rat guy.
Yeah.
And then, the Errol Flynn version is this very like stuck up like proper gentleman type who's just like a little bit scummy about it.
Yeah.
Like it's so wildly different. I'm like, I have to pick one. So another little nod to the Errol Flynn version is that there's is in that movie, there's like a trio of villains because you got Prince John, who's always around. You have the Sheriff of Nottingham, who's always around. But that movie also introduces this Duke character who's a bit more of like the slimy scumbag type. And I'm like, that's it. So I can, in a way, have that, like the rat from the Disney version, that more just like, just sleazy,
happy birthday
that,
to
yeah, the like
you.
the pseudo intellectual type. I'm like, I could just put this count here, and then the sheriff I'll have like inspired more by like Basil Rathbone and in the Errol Flynn version, and a little bit of unhinged Alan Rickman as well, because he's the best.
A little bit of this, a
little bit of that.
I'm
so
making my ultimate sheriff.
Yeah, and so by the end, I'm like, I have all the Sheriff of Nottinghams now.
That's awesome.
I have them included. It's not all just the Sheriff of Nottingham. It's kind of divided between these 2 or 3 other characters. Awesome. But I'm like, I think okay, all right, this actually kind of works.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It ties a nice.
I'm excited to see how it translates.
It's going to be super awesome. So show dates. May 18th through the 23rd.
Sunday to Friday
evenings. And the reason we're doing that is the church that's letting us use their facilities, Church of Glad Tidings. Saturdays nights is when they have their services. And so if we were to perform on a Saturday night service, it needed to be Christian. We're trying to make
you would have had to superimpose different things into it, and it would change.
So the friar would had to have brought Robin Hood to Jesus.
Yep.
I mean, real.
Must repent of all the thievery on a Saturday night.
Yes, exactly. And it was like, no, we don't want to change subject matter. Because to me, like the true form of art, especially when you're getting into kind of Christian conscientiousness, I'm very weird. I love to listen to amazing sermons about biblical history, and then I'll watch a serial killer show. Right?
You're a little different.
Yeah.
But I think
I literally did that this past Sunday.
I'm so proud of you.
After church service, what did I do before practice? I was driving, listening to a true crime podcast.
But I was listening to, why can't I think of his name? Famous author, writer. He's done a lot of crime novels. Andrew Clavin. I don't know if you've ever listened to him. Amazing guy, Christian guy. But he was talking about how he believes that the atrocities that when we can show atrocities and evil for what it truly is and show the capture of that, it creates a warning in a person going, hey, be careful of that path that you're thinking about. It's not to glorify it for you to meditate on it and become that. But by showing that and showing redemption for those characters, we're saying that nobody is without redemptive purpose. Right? And I think the problem is with modern day Christian films or Christian anything is it's turned into unrelatable and just its own world where everybody just gets along and is Christian. And if they don't get along, it's not relatable because they don't get along in a Christian viewpoint. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I worked with guys that were atheist to Buddhist to whatever, and we would disagree. But when we didn't get along, it was normally the same reasons we didn't get along. The guy was either being a dick, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? Like, come on, man, treat me with what the crap, right? But when that's outside of a Christian film, you're like, this isn't relatable. This guy, whether or not he's whatever, I just don't relate with him. And so it's the relatability. But so I go, hey, the best thing we can do to create art is to make the best art we can that gives the best perspective of redemption and hope that leans you into a place going, wow,
that resonates.
I'm not that far gone, or I see a little bit of myself in him, but if he can get redeemed, I can too.
But love that.
But some characters are so bad that there is no redeeming them. And that also needs to be shown. So Robin Hood coming up 18th through the 23rd. It's going to be Sunday through Friday, 7 p.m. nightly, $10 for adults, $5 for kids. It's not free to make plays because we have to get costumes and props and food and all the stuff we got to get for the sets. And luckily, Leslie Greenitz, she's incredible. She's been helping us with getting props and everything figured out. We built some props and stuff as well. And then Church of Glad Tidings letting us use the facilities to do this.
Shout out.
So there's this amount of amazing community that's coming together. It's absolutely incredible. So I just want to make sure, I want to kiss all the proper babies. You know what I mean? I want to make sure everybody feels.
And the fact that it's all just for my little Robin Hood script gives me like warm fuzzy.
That's awesome.
That makes me feel like, why have I not tried this a long time ago?
And we're already talking about other projects.
I have already started writing.
Ooh.
Already started writing.
I'm so excited.
So,
Awesome.
It's awesome, man. I'm excited for it, brother.
Thank you.
Cut. Thank you for checking out the Cam and Joe Show.
If you guys are liking our content so far, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also listen to us on Spotify.